Horror Planet, where horror memories live. Shock till you drop, where more horror stories are. Shriek 1. It was a dark and stormy night, and Sarah was driving home from work. As she turned onto a lonely, deserted road, she suddenly heard a loud shriek. She slammed on the brakes and looked around, but there was no one in sight. Shaken, Sarah tried to shake off the feeling of dread that was creeping over her. But as she continued down the road, the shrieking grew louder and more piercing, until it was all she could hear. Suddenly, a figure stepped out in front of her car, causing her to swerve and crash into a tree. Dazed and disoriented, Sarah stumbled out of the car and looked around. The figure was nowhere to be seen. As she made her way down the road on foot, Sarah heard the shrieking once again, louder than ever before. She began to run, her heart pounding in her chest, but the sound seemed to be coming from all around her. Finally, she saw the figure again, standing at the end of the road. As she got closer, she realized with horror that it was a woman, her face twisted in agony and pain. And then Sarah saw the source of the shrieking. The woman's throat had been slit, and blood was pouring out of the wound. Frozen with fear, Sarah watched as the woman slowly turned to face her. With the final, blood-curdling shriek, the woman lunged forward, her hand outstretched towards Sarah. And then Sarah woke up, drenched in sweat and screaming. It was just a nightmare, she told herself. But as she looked around her room, she realized that the window was open, and the sound of a faint, distant shriek was coming from outside.